Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our beloved lecturer, Madam Wan Shafiza Hussein, and to all our fellow classmates. Today, our group going to present on Seminar 2 on topic Environmental Costs and Benefits. Before we proceed with our presentation, let me introduce our group member first, which is NORHAZWANI binti NASORRUDDIN, FATIHAH binti ANUAR, SITI ADIBAH binti AZHAR, QISTINA binti EFFENDI, and SALSABILLA binti ZULKEFLY. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is QISTINA binti EFFENDI, and I will be the first presenter. First, what is the environment? Environment is sum total of all surroundings of a living organism, including natural forces and other living things which provide conditions for development and growth as well as of danger and damage. How does business activities affect the environment? Office buildings consume huge amounts of electricity which can lead to global warming. Most offices consume a lot of papers, therefore, it will lead to more cutting down the trees. Other than that, vehicles in traffic jams will emit carbon monoxide from fuel that will cause air pollution. Now, what is environmental cost? Environmental cost is a cost that an organization incurs to prevent, monitor and report environmental impacts at the cost of failing to comply with environmental regulations. It also includes interest, cost of response, removal, remedial action, and damages for personal injuries and for injury to destruction of a loss of property or natural resources. Now, I will pass this slide to FATIHAH for her to explain more details about environmental costs.
Thank you, QISTINA. Hi, my name is FATIHAH binti ANUAR, and I will explain to you the categories of environmental costs. The first one is prevention costs. Prevention costs are the costs of activities undertaken by organizations to prevent the production of waste. Prevention costs represent a company's effort to solve problems before they occur and turn them into opportunities. It is also called an investment. Preventing environmental damage is a matter of educating everyone in the company on how to do their job without harming the environment. Prevention activities include evaluating and selecting pollution control equipment, designing process, and developing environmental management system. Second one is detection costs. Detection costs are the costs incurred of cost activities executed to determine if products, processes, and other activities within the firm are in compliance with regulation and appropriate environmental standard. The company are aware and concerned of environmental issue. Therefore, they will comply with the rules and environmental standard in order to protect environment to the society. Detection costs include auditing environmental activities, inspecting products and processes, developing environmental performance measure, testing for contamination, verifying supplier environmental performance, and measuring contamination levels. The third one is internal failure costs. Internal failure costs are the costs incurred from performing activities that have produced contaminants and waste that have not been discharged into environment. The costs are incurred to eliminate and manage the waste product. Internal failure costs include operating pollution control equipment, treating and disposing of toxic waste, maintaining pollution equipment, licensing facilities for producing contaminants, and recycle scrap. The fourth one is external failure costs. External failure costs are the costs incurred on activities performed after discharging waste into environment. External failure costs include cleaning up a polluted lake, cleaning up contaminated soil, settling personal injury claims, losing sales due to poor environmental reputation, receiving medical care due to polluted air, and losing employment because of contamination. External failure costs can be subdivided into realized and unrealized categories. Realized external failure costs, those incurred and paid by the company. Unrealized external failure, or we call societal costs, are caused by the company but are incurred and paid by the parties outside of the company. That's all for me. Next, I will pass to Hazwani.
Thank you, Fatihah. Assalamualaikum. I'm NORHAZWANI binti NASORRUDDIN. So I will continue our presentation with tiers of environmental costs. There are 5 tiers of environmental costs. The first stage is conventional cost. Conventional cost is a direct cost related to capital expenditures, raw materials, and other operating and maintenance costs. And the second stage is hidden costs. It refers to hidden regulatory costs from activities. For examples, the cost of monitoring and reporting of environmental activities and emissions, cost of searching for environmentally responsible suppliers, and the ongoing cost of cleaning up contaminated land. The stage is contingent cost. It is liabilities incurred due to failure to clean up contaminated sites and fines and penalties for non-compliance with regulations. Fourth stage is relationship and image costs. Some environmental costs called as less tangible or intangible because they relate to consumer perceptions, employee and community relations. They are very intangible because of the direct benefits that resulted from the relationship or image expenses. For the first 4 tiers, they can be described as private costs, as these environmental costs that directly affect the profit of the organization, or costs for which an organization can be held legally accountable. Lastly is societal costs. It refers to the costs that organization impose on others for which they may not be held legally responsible and which cannot be compensated for in the legal system. Next, ADIBAH will continue for the next slide.
Thank you. Hi, my name is SITI ADIBAH binti AZHAR, and now I'm going to continue with environmental laws. The first one is Pesticide Act 1974. This law regulates the labeling, registration, importation, manufacture, advertising, sale, and storage of pesticide, where it controls the presence of pesticide residues in food, the reporting and investigation of accidents and injuries caused by pesticide. The second one is National Conservation Strategy 1993. It emphasizes on the conservation of natural resources, develop sustainable and improve efficiency in resource use and management. The third one is National Policy on Biodiversity 1994. It sets out a policy, strategy, and action plan of program for effective conservation and management of biological diversity, enhance sustainable utilization of biodiversity, and strengthen biodiversity management. The third one is Land Conservation Act 1960. It specifically to conserve hill lands to prevent soil erosion, and control siltation. The fifth one is Environmental Quality Act 1974, amended 1985. Department monitors 20 specific activities and parameters related to pollution and environmental standards. This act prescribes activities that affect forests, for example, logging larger than 5 km square. It also provides guidelines for forestry. Next, Solid Waste and Public Cleansing Management Act 2007, Act 672. It provides and regulates the management of controlled solid waste, which is waste segregation and public cleansing for the purpose of maintaining proper sanitation and for meta-incidental territory. Last one is Merchant Shipping Liability and Compensation for Oil and Bunker Oil Pollution Act 1994. Regulate loss and damage caused outside a ship by contamination resulting from the discharge or escape of oil or bunker oil from the ship in Malaysian waters and provide for compensation of impairment of environment and cost of reasonable measure of reinstatement. Next, this is an example of company that violate environmental law. The company that involved is BTEL Resources Sdn Bhd, a used tire processing factory, and 3 of its directors were each accused of failure to conduct air quality monitoring and failure to notify the authorities about the production of a scheduled waste. The legislation is they were each charged under Regulation 16, subsection 1 of the Environmental Quality Regulation, Clean Air 2014, and 7 charges under Regulation 3, subsection 1 of the Environmental Quality Regulation, Schedule Waste 2004. The responsible parties are the 3 directors and Marida's lorry driver. The 3 directors were accused of conspiring with Marida's lorry driver to dispose of a scheduled substance into Sungai Kim Kim using a tanker trailer without the approval from the Director of Department of Environment between 12:01 a.m. and 1 a.m. on March 7. The violation action taken here is Maridas was accused of disposing of a scheduled substance into Sungai Kim Kim using a tanker trailer without the approval from the director between 12:01 a.m. and 1 a.m. on March 7. Then, the consequences is more than 1,000 victims with 8 admitted into the ICU are affected by the pollution. Included are students and fishermen who claimed that they were exposed to the poisonous gases. The court judgment held that they were all charged under Section 34B, subsection 1A of the Environmental Quality Act 1974, which carries a sentence of maximum of 5 years in jails and a fine of not more than 500,000 upon conviction. That's all from me. The next presenter will present regarding cost-benefit analysis.
Hi, I'm back, so I will continue with cost-benefit analysis. CBA, also known as benefit cost analysis, is a systematic process that businesses use to analyze which decisions to make and which to forego. Cost-benefit analysis built by identifying the benefits of an action as well as the associated costs and subtracting the cost from benefits. CBA can evaluate potential cost and revenue. Hence, it will lead to opportunity cost, which allows manager to option for better choice. It involves measurable financial metrics such as revenue earned or cost saved as a result of the decision to pursue a project. CBA can also include intangible benefits and costs or effects from a decision such as employees' morale and customer satisfaction. In business, government, finance, and even the non-profitable, CBA offers unique and valuable insight. Therefore, there are several advantages of cost-benefit analysis. First, it helps an organization, especially in developing benchmarks for comparing projects. Second, deciding whether to pursue a proposed project. Third, evaluating new hires. Fourth, weight investment opportunities. Fifth, measuring social benefits. And lastly, assessing change initiatives. However, all tenets and models, even CBA, have disadvantages. For CBA, it is not suitable for large projects. Large projects have longer time to complete, hence CBA might fail to project future concerns such as inflation, interest rates, varying cash flows, and present value of money. Therefore, companies may option for capital budgeting analysis methods and net present value method, which would be more appropriate for these situations. Second, there are significant amount of forecasts built into the models. So much forecast is very made, and if one of the forecasts is off, it will obviously affect the entire project. That's all for me. Next, SALSABILLA will continue for the next slide. Thank you.
My name is SALSABILLA and I'm going to present cost-benefit analysis or CBA steps. First, establish a framework to outline the parameters of analysis, identify cost and benefit so they can categorize by type and intent, calculate cost and benefit across the assumed life of a project or initiative, compare cost and benefit using aggregate information, and lastly, analyze results and make an informed final recommendation. Next, would the company benefit from the cost it spent in taking care of the environment? The answer is yes. And why? It is because it will help in promoting marketing identity by understanding how to promote corporations as eco-friendly and designing marketing identity to develop trust relationship. The company will be seen as social responsible corporation. For example, Nike uses recyclable polyester for the production of the shoes. Organizations could choose measurable outcomes that fit into their corporation, such as use recyclable packaging, use wind or solar power, waste reduction policies, and energy conservation policies. It can give impact to both corporations and communities, boost the other companies and customers to start being responsible for the environment. The corporation will receive tax benefit from the government, such as green allowance tax allowance asset, green allowance tax allowance projects, and green allowance tax allowance services. Lastly, it can increase saving from the use of organic materials. It is because eco-friendly business measures lead to saving where energy conservation, recycling, use of water-saving devices, and energy-efficient equipment can help in reducing costs. Next, my members will present the next slide.
Thank you, SALSABILLA. My name is QISTINA ADRIANA binti EFFENDI, and I will be continuing on tax benefits and other financial incentives. First will be Green Allowance Tax Allowance, or we can be shortened as GITA, on assets. It means that 100% of qualifying capital expenditure incurred on approved green technology assets from the date of purchase until 31st December 2020. The allowance can be offset against 70% of statutory income in the year of assessment. Unutilized allowances can be carried forward until they are fully absorbed. Second, on Green Allowance Tax Allowance on projects. It means that 100% of qualifying capital expenditure incurred on green technology projects from the date of application received by MIDA until the year of assessment 2020. The allowance can be offset against 70% of statutory income in the year of assessment. Unutilized allowance can be carried forward until they are fully absorbed. Third is Green Income Tax Allowance, or GITE, on services. It means that 100% of statutory income from the date of application received by MIDA until the year of assessment 2020, which is the maximum period is 5 years from the date of commencement.
For conclusion, when making business decisions, we must also consider our environment and how our decision may affect it. CBA provides clear insights that will assist management in deciding whether or not to proceed with the project by analyzing the project's cost and benefit. Thank you.